All right, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Cosmic here, and welcome back to another stream of CZN, getting into Arabella and just overall builds. And I was actually going into the data download stuff again. I had this pulled up from when we were doing the recording, but hope everybody is doing well. Hope your great Rift challenges are doing all right, because mine sure aren't, because I've been trying to actually work on a separate build. So, and I guess as a little preview here, I should just show the full view. Yeah, so with all the conversations that have been going on lately, right, around her kit, and again, shout out to some of the other creators that have more of the full number crunching and actual like theoretical damage per turns figured out and all that stuff. I think a lot of people have been like, all right, you know what, the AoE builds are just kind of whatever, but how can we work and how can we put together a single target build? And what I've been wanting to do is try to focus on a build that I can take into the Tower 130 and do a side-by-side of Heidi Mari multi-hit versus Arabella's multi-hit. Now, again, just because of power creep and other things, yes, Arabella's AoE is fine enough. It's not going to be like, oh my god, seasonal good, but it is what we would expect for a new character. And I think that's where a lot of the conversation comes back to of, well, yeah, her AoE is fine, but it's nothing that is seasonal character worthy. And on top of that, I kind of given it some more thought, and I think how I should probably phrase it going forward is that the real issue with AoE style of characters in CZN is that if we remove the current Great Rift, because again, keep in mind, Yuki didn't have the same thing. If you remove the hyper shilling of always being able to have 5 targets, always being able to have the maximum amount of targets to hit for each AoE factor, right? You're going to have higher numbers. However, when we think about things like Tower and if we think about things like Sortie, a lot of times, especially with her kit, because we have things like Art of the Unmaking, and you're going to have some type of Hollow Verdict that is going to be, obviously it changes based on what you have in your team, but you have 2 really strong AoE builds, even in your single target focus one, that are likely going to kill everything anyways. So when you take apart her multi-hit, or I should say her multi-enemy hitting cards, and you're down to a single target, then yeah, I guess it would make sense that they just don't do any meaningful damage. And that's where we see, again, thanks to Cassius and otherwise, we see more of this single target take a focus, because you are just literally doing double the damage. It's not exactly double, I'm not getting into the fracture breakdown, right? But with her Hollow Verdict, you're hitting 3 times, and then with her Sadistic Restraint, you're hitting 6 times. Yeah, obviously 6 is greater than 3, right? So that's where the single target gets some more value. So that's probably how I'm going to frame it going forward, but this is the overall theory crafting build that I've been working towards. It is exactly 20 morale. We have the 4th AP that we need from Quick Shelling, which I have done 7 runs today, and I have not found a Quick Shelling. So my luck is going great. And then, of course, with the Sadistic Restraint, we just have to clean this up. And we are going to go for a 5 survival, 3 claim normal build that you would expect, just for the extra morale and really, no other reason. But welcome on in, Rorlin and Blood Evolver. How we all doing? I got my rant out of the way, but yeah, I'm going to be honest. I am super tired because I was up until 4 a.m. working on the Arabella build guide last night, and then had work, did another video today, and now back at back to try to figure out this build, because again, with everything that's been going on, Bree and I are going to just take a bit of a mental break, mental holiday this weekend, to just unplug from everything. So we're going to be doing that. So unfortunately, I won't have the weekend to work on builds, but we can always work on it when we get back Monday, or I would say Sunday night, but Monday. Isn't Quick Shelling one of the common cards you can add with 1 core? No, wasn't it only rare cards? Or isn't it? Okay, I guess, you know what? I totally forgot to double check that because I just don't have materials. I thought this was only the white labeled ones. Hey, Dasol, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time to stop by the stream and say as much. I try to put the best guides I can out there with, the time I have and all the limited information, but I'm glad to hear they've been helpful. Let me double check then, because I thought it was... Oh, God, I did so many of these today, and I deleted a few already. Oh, we didn't remove that card, so that's not it, because... Oh, yeah, and is there any way to edit away a divine? Because this is, unfortunately, Is it this? Oh, shit. How much does this cost? Hold on. This is... Pink crystal spammy head guy. Shit, I'm glad you said something, Scribe. I thought it was for a different class of item. 4,000's not great. I am very black mass poor, by the way. Is that good enough to use, I guess? Definitely more than I would like to spend. No, not that one. We had this one, but then it didn't have, Wait, why didn't I use this one? Draw 2. Maybe I was just trying to go for better, I might have been trying for better gearing, I guess. Because I really wanted to get the boost ally damage. And yeah, this one was just, I whiffed on anything. So this one is just trash. Hold on, I can get rid of that one for sure. Oh, no, right, I remember. Because I also wanted to try to get remnants as well. But no, actually, I think then if we add it... Or I guess she's not going to be the main damage dealer, right? So we do want tentacles instead. Oh, shoot. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, I was recording. Thank you. As always, keep me honest on that one. Oh, right. Sorry. Does anyone know if you can delete divines off stuff? Like, without actually just killing it outright? I always forget that there's the equipment fix ones, too. Because otherwise, if I could just add the card to this and, like, steal the divine, that would be better. But otherwise, I think we're just kind of, I think we're just going to go back into the minds of fixing stuff up. 3-organization. I guess this also works, and I can remove the vortex arrow. But if you can change it to another card type that cannot get that one, it would fall off. Yeah, unfortunately, it's big game rangers, so they're all going to have the cost reduction. I can't believe we had a divine brick our build. Tragic. Absolutely tragic. We save a divine that way. It's 2 survival, 1 claim. Like, I think this is good enough if I were to divine it out for all this stuff. Remove the card and add it back. Wouldn't it count towards our overall removal, though? Oh, I guess we have 1 more removal left. I guess we could. Don't do that. You can't put it back. Oh, man. Well, unfortunately, I don't think we can keep this either way, which really sucks. Because, okay, so there's also something to be said that, like, sure, we lose 1 arrow using the upgrade, but I also like the idea of having 1 less card to cycle, even if all these cards do technically cycle themselves, because don't forget, this version of Homing Arrow does have the draw 1 clause, and then no matter what, the Homing Arrow will always draw the next card. So no matter what, if you go for this version of Homing Arrow, it's going to self-cycle, which is really important for early deck cycling. But yeah, that sucks so bad, man. This would have been perfect because like we put a divine here. Obviously, I have to change this one. Damn. And guys, if I can be honest for a minute and like, you know, have my solo crash out moment that I was going to, you know, just have. So like we made one small change to this build because we don't have the divine to put somewhere else on the team, so I have to go for like double hand enthralled by light Cassius. So which unfortunately means that if I am going to fix this entire team that I'm showcasing here that I want to do a video on of Hidimari versus Arabella damage, I have to refarm Cassius for the fourth time this season. And I'm sorry, like I don't know if I'm going to have it in me to completely refarm teams again by the time Olga drops. Like I am really at my like for how many times I've had to refarm the same characters already just to move around a couple desire numbers. I don't like it, man. I really don't like it. And it sucks because, like, what are we doing here, right? We're just doing it for 7 morale, which is, like, it's not nothing. That is a significant amount of morale, man. You can't just, you know, I can't be a slop YouTuber who does a build without any desire cards, right? It's not like I can go back and delete the Season 3 cards and then do a, you know, vanilla build versus vanilla build. I have to do a Season 3 versus Season 4 comparison, like... Man, I really wish we had more control. But yeah, so now that I know that this one is completely bricked and we are just screwed, unfortunately, I think it is... We're just going to go back in and farm it out. Again, I probably could just use this one and it's whatever. So the other thing to think about, though, is like the way that we're setting this up, where Cocoon Cape is really good for setting up Sever Ties, we don't really care about it if we're trying to show like a one-turn damage in the tower. So I guess the chest slot always sucks, but it is what it is. This is otherwise correct. Maybe I just, you know what? Maybe I just say screw it. Maybe I just say this one is good enough. Like we have to divine this. We divine these to 0 and it's done. Sorry, we divine these 4. There we go. I'm like, something's missing. That's 60. Hey, Judge, welcome on in. I will say, farming survival post-update is not that bad, though. It is the fact that they increased, as long as you guys upgrade your 0 tree or 0 system tree, don't forget to do that. The extra survival event is really nice, and I would say for the majority of builds, as long as you're not trying to go for survival 3, like the success rate has significantly increased. Like I did still whiff a survival build earlier, which was crazy, but it's not too hard to get survival 2. Let me... Is that Bob? Wait, do I have Bob on right now? No, that's that. Where's... Oh, this build is... Okay, yeah, this was the old... That can be deleted. Hold on. This is going to be for the... Oh, I didn't get the sticker yet, right? Isn't it like level 15 or something? I forget now. Oh, no, I did get the sticker. And then Cassius... Okay, there we go. Just so I remember, because I am terrible at recalling these. Do I think 5 control is worth it for the 5 to 25% crit chance? I would say the only time it's ever something I would care about is going to be the Great Rift. And even then, I am just not... I personally will never make builds that are like... You're basically having to refarm 3 complete characters just to get that activation, right? Like... I don't know, guys. Like, I'm also feel like I'm at a crossroads with how I want to talk about, like, builds and how I want to do the build guide, because... If you're going to ask me about desire cards for this season, I think my default answer, deadass, like 95 times out of 100, is going to just be, hey, farm survival 5, claim 3. do that configuration on every team, and it's basically good enough. I do think that we're going to have to refarm Arabella for when we get Olga to do the dot focus, the 35% dot amp instead, because hopefully by then Fracture will be a bit more relevant. We're not doing like the multi-hit Fracture. We'll have like the big AoE nuke Fracture builds that I'm dreaming of. But at least for right now, with how this season is, and just again for those that don't know the buff itself, boop. The fact that you're going to get the 3 morale, resolve, and fortitude, it just gives you good stuff in tower. It gives you a little bit of survivability in Great Rift, and then you can even do something like Adelheid to get better shielding and better survivability that way. It just adds so much value to a wide blanket of teams that it to me it takes the spotlight, you know, for the season. Yeah, I think that's where a lot of us are at, right? It's just like even refarming something that is simple, you know, like this, just for the sake of trying to do a proper E0 showcase, which, like, even if it takes me into next week, I'm going to do the video because I think we need to have the conversation about a character who is sold as a seasonal, but definitely doesn't have the same seasonal feel. I want to do like the best comparison that I can think of at least, but again, just because of how morale stacking works, and even with my not great Selena memory fragments, I would expect the Hidimari build to have a pretty significant lead on the Arabella lead. And keep in mind that build that I'm referencing does not use Hidimari's E2 ability. So even though I do have Hidimari at E2, it will be a proper E0 versus E0 team build. And then, you know, Cassius is E6, who is going to be on both teams. And then Selena is E6 because she's a 4-star. And then Hilde is at E0. So it's going to be as fair of a comparison that I can ultimately put together. But yeah, farming this is going to be, or finishing this, I guess I should say, is just going to be a bit of a bit unfun, to say the least. And again, also keeping in mind that we have the hand enthralled by light, which you're gonna have to get. You can get them through the event, to be fair, but again, still trying to get 2 of these is not the funnest thing in the world. Seeing someone recommend make all characters survival 2 claim 1. Yeah, that's that goes back to my old, do I still have it open? No, I had it in one of my other videos, is that like I also agree with the 2 survival claim 1 on any support that you want to do. And then after that, what's really nice is that technically that 3rd slot is then a 1/1/1. So no matter what last card you need, like if you want to use a control card, you can go control, claim, survival, still get your 5/3 buff, and then you're using a control card for whatever unholy reason you're using one of the control cards. But again, when Olga comes out, maybe control is really good and has all this stuff too. Yeah, hand enthralled by light is such an interesting one because you're effectively trading the because what it's 3 morale, right? Because it's 2+1 on a upgrade. You're getting 1 more, or you're getting, sorry, for the point total, it's 40 points for the 2 cost upgrade. So you're getting 1 more morale, but you're losing resolve. So if you only care about damage, then yes, going for like the double skill upgrade is going to be better. But then also you want to keep in mind that like some of those upgrades are relevant, at least in season 3, where we had the explosion of emotions, right? That was actually a very relevant upgrade for some teams. Now, hand enthralled by light doesn't have any other benefit other than permanent morale, which is cool. And the 2 cost upgrade from this set is pretty whatever. But I always like to reference the 2 cost upgrade just in the off chance it's going to have some other additional benefit. You know, the 2,000 damage it gives or something is nothing to write home about. Hey, Eco, welcome on in. I farmed all my decks as survival 2, claim 1. Yeah, so I feel like, you know, and I literally, I forget if it was just on Twitter or if it was. Let me pull up the Great Rift. I forget if it was on Twitter or during a stream, but I literally called this shit, and I hate it so much, where it's like just increase dot amount by 100% flat. What is my cast build? So again, small disclaimer, this is not, I don't actually recommend building this. This is for this is only for this team, is basically what I'm saying, because I'm trying to hit 20 morale, and I'm not using a upgrade that has a divine on any of my other characters. So that's like, when I'm doing Cassius builds this season, the goal is always, how am I getting 20 morale, and where are those extra numbers coming from? So I don't know. I try to do more like generic, generically safe, you know, builds that work on a vast majority of characters, but I had stuff like, you know, this Hill Day build, I would also never recommend in 1,000 years. It's just something that works with a very niche scenario of this particular Arabella build. It might not even be her best build. It's just something that I want to put in a showcase. Because, again, I'm banking on the extra draw from Cassius as well as the draw 2 from the sample collection if we need it to go in and cycle the rest of these cards. You get 200% more dot damage inside the Great Rift as well. Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, so again, is it 17 morale is the generic Cassius build that I put out? I forget. You know, I said I wasn't going to open up my... images. There you go, right? So this is the one that we had previously, where it's just like, this is the generic, easy to use, copy, paste, and then you can still see my last card there, build. Because, again, don't forget, we get 7 morale from the seasonal buffs that we're going to be, you know, recommending. You're getting 3 quest completion from his morale itself, and then it's like 12, I think. 2, 4, 6, 8 if you swap this one. I have the wrong dice trick, my bad. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So yeah, 10. Oh yeah, 10 and 10. Yeah. So this was 20 this way. If you change out the resolve that I had for a different character, and then ignore that dice trick. I don't know why I still have that one there. I should probably, for my own sanity. Oh wait, I don't have a divine on that one though. And I like using this one because this dice trick has the added advantage of sometimes just giving you an extra draw as well. So for a lot of people, it's going to help with the overall consistency of your builds if it's not like purely min-maxed. The rank 1 damage is ridiculously high. Is that after the bug fix? There was apparently some bug that they had this morning that I didn't, like, fully read into. Damn, what the hell? Or wait, am I in the right category? Oh, yeah, I'm in Master. Hell yeah, we love Gun. Oh, yeah, and notably, right, because she doesn't need survival, you can go farm her in Swamp. Oh, damn, they have attack 4 as well. Holy shit. Oh, they're not using the vulnerable build anymore? Interesting. Wait, what happened to the other build? I would have swore that the vulnerable stacking would have been... Did they fall down to 2? Hold on. Sorry, I gotta find this build now again. Oh, yeah, sorry. There it is. Sneering Dagger, that's what it was. They swapped it over to. Yeah, and then go ahead, get your tentacles. Oh, that's cute. Get your tentacles and all that good stuff, as it were, as well. But yeah, again, I think this is kind of all what we expected otherwise. In terms of the other, and then yeah, sure, more, because again, the biggest thing here is just trying to amplify up the damage as much as possible, and then it's easy to max out morale with Cassius if you overcommit to the full amount. Shout out to the double scorch tech too. Yeah, so this is another, like, just because I know the community is never going to be sane about it, but like, you have to realize that when we talk about Great Rift builds versus what is her best damage builds, the Great Rift is very quickly becoming not the actual build that the majority of people should be caring about outside of just getting your gems. Like, if you want to chase the leaderboard, don't get me wrong, but I think it's just creating such a dishonest conversation because people can't realize that they're getting like double the buffs from this versus like her single target stuff. So it happened with Tenebria. I'm sure it's going to happen with Arabella again, but it's so weird that we have like, here's your Great Rift build, here's your sortie build, here's your actual best damage build. But Great Rift just serves its purpose to make us draw or make us farm more decks. Yeah, the no AP issue is exactly why that I'm trying to make this work, right? Quick shelling. So you get the AP and then you also get the harmful effect for like sever ties or other things that might be relevant. So this is what I was talking about 2 videos ago now, where it's like a lot of people will probably incorrectly just like spam draw and release, right? And spend a bunch of extra points that way. But you're going to find out eventually as you're min-maxing various teams that you don't actually need more than just maybe 1 copy, maybe a second one, depending on, you know, how many cards or what your other supports are. But between Cassius giving us a free draw 3, this draw and release is going to give us a +1 because we have the quick shelling that is going to cycle here. Or I'm sorry, this is the driven hunt as well, right? So these are going to cancel each other out, and everything else in her kit is self-draw. Because again, keep in mind, this version has this very important automatically draw 1 card, meaning it's always going to replace itself because the arrow draws. And then when we get down to Arabella, well, she actually has something that allows you to draw cards of her own stuff. The one downside to this is that normally the way this build's going to work is that you're going to want to cast these cards last because you care about the actual damage buff and all those amplifications, you know, starting to ramp up. That said, if you live in Christmas Miracle Land and the last 3 cards in your deck are 3 copies of Sadistic Restraint, and you can start the first Sadistic Restraint, spoiler, you're going to find the rest of them. So, you know, there's a lot of self, you know, drawing baked into the kit. But if you really need to, I think it's this one, right? Yeah, there you go. So, like, if you need a little bit more even, you could just swap to Scream for me. So, the one thing I will say with Arabella's kit, I actually really do appreciate how she can draw a lot of her own cards, which I think is honestly something I probably didn't like sell enough as like a good talking point for her character kit, because a lot of other characters, you know, like Haru or otherwise, can struggle sometimes to find like their anchors or their proper retains to go for like a second deck cycle. But Arabella actually has quite a bit of stuff that allows you to help churn through your deck and making sure that you're still able to achieve those 1-turn deck cycles. So that Cassius 20 morale is just for Rift. So it's not just for Rift. It is... With multi-hit characters, you always want to try to go to 20 morale because that is the cap, and it's usually one of the best sources of damage that you can get to increase that team's output. Now, again, Cassius himself, as we have like in this overall image, with the Season 4 buff, you know, it's very easy to max this out so that your other characters don't have to worry about either neutrals or picking up upgrades to get the rest of the morale. But basically, any time that you have a character who wants to hit, you know, 2 or 3 times per card, you're going to want to put them with Cassius. What do I think about Sadistic 5th Epiphany? I don't remember that off the top of my head. Oh, yeah, I want to find a way to make this work because there should be a way to that I could change up this build and then over this sequence of the other attacks, get more fracture. But the reality is for like 95% of players, you're just going to use this one instead because it does have that self-draw built in. And it's going to make playing your sequences a lot better, right? But keep in mind, this is going to top out at, 16 hits per turn. And if even the other, the other 3 that you're using are getting the 5 hits, this is 15. So you should be able to get more activations, and sorry, more multi-hits out of this card. But I think for a lot of people who don't want to sit here and min-max and think about this issue, think about going through this nightmare of team building, I would just recommend taking the draw one. Which is also why I'm using this version instead. I just realized I could have clicked here. But that's also why I'm using this version instead. There is something to be said about taking a build that is strong and, 90% of the way optimized and just saying, hey, here's a build, go have fun with it. And if you want to spend more time fixing it up, be my guest. I think there's, at least from where I'm at and how I approach these various builds, I really want to make something that is easy to use. And for those that didn't catch it, I did just do a very quick video talking about, let me go back. Did a very quick video talking about the, oh my God, what section is it under again? There we go. Talking about the data downloads, right? And going through these different builds. I really do appreciate how these are like pretty decent introductions to characters' kits. So where I personally want to make my content and my build guides and my recommendations, I want something that is going to be between this tier of a build, this one being like the intro builds that everybody starts with, and something that's not like the Great Rift, where it's like hyper-focused, only works in this one situation, and you have to have this perfect build or you're not going to clear the content, right? I think for most of my builds like this that are going to be good enough for like 90% of situations, that's personally where I want to put my like build guides or recommendations for teams. Because yes, it is going to be a lot stronger than what they have in the, the save data or the data download sections or data download sections. But it's not going to be perfectly optimized for every situation because there might be times where, oh, I want to swap out Cassius for this other character. And if you do, well, cool, you might need a little bit more morale or you might need a little bit more sustain if you're trying to do something like Tower. So hopefully that makes sense. This again probably largely just goes back to my TCG player side where like I was normally the one who would build like the core idea of decks, but I was never the one who would go through then the iterative process of completely min-maxing those builds, going to some tournament, being the one who does like, oh my God, this breakthrough build just crushed this tournament sort of thing. I always like to do the more foundational and here is something that works style of builds. So all that to say, I think we are going to try to keep the, shit, where did I just put it? Okay, yeah. I think we're going to keep this one, and I will just save it, which means I need to do a... What am I thinking of? We need to do the Arabella build, then. Because that has not been... And it's really funny because I did, like, super high roll this version with the weakness attack, but unfortunately, I just don't have the AP to make it work. I was theory crafting a build with this one and then using Narja, but the problem that I've ran into with Narja again is that she doesn't give you the damage on Fracture. And you have to remember that Fracture is a significant amount of damage for the multi-hit build because every attack that you're going to be doing, or I guess that's, again, the wrong base card, but keeping in mind, Fracture is going to be a third of your damage because for every 3 hits that you're doing 4 hits for the other build, you're doing 2 hits of Fracture. So automatically, right, of those 6 total hits, 2 of them are from Fracture or 1/3. So we can't just have a support character who does not interact with a third of our damage. Now, again, if let's say all you have is Narja and you just want to use her anyways, sure, that's fine. But like if I'm going to do an E0 showcase, I don't want to use Narja because she's not going to interact with a third of our damage. So that does feel a little bit bad, but it is what it is. Oops, what is on my... Drop something on there. So where are we then? So yeah, I think we just got to focus on doing some delegations with her. And I think the rest of these are just, yeah, we can... We can delete her base data. We do not care that much. That was the other sample one. That is for... Okay, hold on. I need to put a sticker on this so I remember to not ever delete this. Because this is definitely worth, like, spending black mass to fix just for how hard it is to get this divine. Assuming I'm going to be crazy enough and, you know, farm this later. So anyways, all that aside, we are going to go back to... We're going to go back into our chaos, and we're going to try to farm Arabella. What did I just say? She was, where's my image before I forget? She's 2-1, right? Because it's 2-1, 2-1, and then 2-1 if I do it that way. I don't think I'm ever going to want to put this build into the inquiry. I think we're just going to always have... Yeah, so that's fine. It's 2-1 no matter what. We are 2-1 slop all the way down. All right, well, don't quote me on a third, right? Because that's probably not technically correct to say, because your starting fracture is going to be 6 instead, which is a higher value. I would have to actually, like, sit down and do all the math. I was strictly talking about the multi-hit card that we're using that triggers fracture twice. And the base value of those fractures are very similar to the base attack value of that attack. So, again, a little bit of a different story here because keep in mind as well that as I learned, I forgot, was it Sue? I think someone from Sue's side mentioned it, but something to note is that for your slot 5 is that apparently, where's my memory fragments? And, okay, I can't even show it. I lucked out. But for your 5th slot, apparently, Fracture does not count as Instinct, and I swear on my life, Agony counted as Void back in the day. I might just be misremembering, but apparently, Instinct damage does not work for Fracture. Obviously, it does work for attack cards, so you do want to have the attack value chalice, or, you know, cup, chalice, whatever, for her 5th slot. So... Again, I do want to make a quick disclaimer that if you have substats that on like an Instinct Chalice are absolutely cracked, like 4 out of 4 substats, whatever, yeah, just use that for a little while. If you're like me who, you know, didn't have an Instinct one anyways and just got all crap stats and that's why I ended up using attack, well, I guess it worked out anyways. Oh, was it Judge? I just saw, I think, well, he made it to Twitter, I guess, because there was a random Twitter post, I think is what it was. It's been a long day, y'all. Yeah, like I said, sorry, I was up till 4 a.m. working on that video. I got like 3 hours of sleep before work, and then I basically worked, did that video, tried to stuff my face with food, and now we're here. So I am a shell of a person right now. I guess, does anybody know? Because, like, okay, sanity check. Does Agony work off void damage? Because on my life, I swear it did back in the day. And I forget if that was, like, Tressa changes or if that was just, like, how it was. Yes, that is also correct. So, Fracture would also then not be getting the, was it 25th? Oh god, is it 15% or 25% in this game? I don't remember. It's not getting the 15% or 25% damage boost. 25%, thank you. Thank you for keeping me honest. Too many random games and random numbers. Which again, like, largely doesn't matter, because yeah, you want to use elemental weakness, or you want to use the element that they're elemental weak against in every game ever, right? Like, who cares what the multiplier actually is, but... yeah, you got to go for the actual, you know, damage boost where you can. Big number good. Okay. I am honestly just going to hit one of these because my time is valuable. And oh my god, I didn't swap the character. Did I? Y'all... whatever. You know what? Hey, we'll do one more. This is the universe telling me that we're going to finally get her build in this run. Guys, the 8th The 8th run is going to be the one. Trust. Yeah, thankfully work was slow, so I was able to, like, because I had those Chaos Delegation tokens that expired today, too. So I was, like, just spamming the runs in between meetings, just trying to jam out a couple more. And, yeah, we are on, like, 7 failed runs now or something ridiculous. I really need to start saving my rolls just in case I get an event that's relevant. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. So the other thing is, like, there's one more tournament that I want to potentially play in tomorrow for, like, our store champ stuff. I meant to check how many people they actually have signed up. Man, there's only 5 people signed up. I really should just go play in it. Oh, that's silly. So the downside is, like, I really wanted to do this showcase build video before I leave for the weekend, but for how my luck has been, with these builds, it's just not it, man. All right, so once again, any claim card will work. And then we got to get 2 survival events, which should be fine. But how is everybody else doing? How's your season been treating you? Hopefully you got lucky on your Arabella pulls. Hopefully everything's been shaping up. Or you're like me and in the big time copium tank. Oh, actually, wow, that's a really early Hand of Enthralled Light. Or you're like me in the copium tanks for hopefully a dot team to come to light in the second half. I am going to aggressively roll for my damn card, man. No? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I really don't want to spend 4,000 black mass if I can avoid it. I'm gonna be so real with y'all. Spending 4K black mass just to add a card that you then have to common epiphany and divine. Like, sure, if I get the Cthulhu gun, like, or dagger in this case, because we're doing a sub DPS roll, but like, if I can get the Cthulhu dagger, sure, whatever. We'll call it worth investing, but I think I've gotten the chess piece 4 times today. Like, we just we did get the dagger on that one build that I showcased, but I think we got the chest like 4 times otherwise. So the good news is that we've ran into him quite a bit. Oh. All right, just give me something I can delete for somebody else, I guess. And once again, just gonna be spamming here just to make sure we can get our, or hopefully, you know, get our stuff going. Surely there's gonna be a survival event along the way. I will say I've spent so much time. Okay, maybe good divine. Not good divine. Also, again, the right card, but a divine that we don't really want on it, unfortunately. So I'd rather just re-roll it. Is there any tip to farm the boss purple weapon? Do you mean the rare spawn Cthulhu or just the final boss? Because if you mean Mr. Tentacles, no, unfortunately, it's just a... What most people will do is that if you don't see Senectus before the first boss, you just quit out the chaos and you go again. Unfortunately, it is like the King RNG thing. Yeah, I mean, some people will do like 20 runs to find the boss and then just spend a bunch of black mass to fix the character. Okay, yeah, so like this would be a quit out, for example, if I was sticking to that rule. Jones, why didn't you just pick the correct basic epiphany and then reroll? Because there is a chance I can just high roll it and save the currencies during the run. I'd love to see some equipment as a middle ground between Senectus equipment and the second best option. Well, I mean, that's just like the attack. Well, I guess your other equivalent option, right, is just taking the egg plus like second method, I guess, is what I would assume would be. I don't even know what the other options are off the top of my head for weapons. All right, probably just gonna have to spend a divine either way. And again, divines are cheaper than the flashes, don't forget. I do not have money for that. Bro, give me my quick shelling, for real. We do not have a lot of gold this run. Ah, whatever. We'll finish the run anyways, I guess. And we're doing 2 arrows for this build and then no other copies. Whoop. Money, please. Thank you. A gold lead equipment? Yeah, please, please give Magna something, right? Although I would say, like, you know, Magna... Don't brick my build again. Okay, good enough. Alright, just gotta... Wait, which one? How the hell am I seeing a new event? Hello? Oh, just stress for credits? Oh, it's our first time... Wow, alright, well that's cool. Unfortunately not what we want. But I mean, oh wow, we have nothing for her right now. Sure, man, I'm gonna just take it because we have nothing. So again, keep in mind this is a single target build, so like that accessory just is not exactly what we want, but oh god, is that her first survival too? All right, we're just cooked all around, aren't we? Surely everything in this build comes together at the very end. We gotta believe. We gotta trust. Trust the process. I generally do not care what these other epiphanies are. No, we need survival for the last one. We already have our claim base. I think we still have to remove some cards, right? Yeah, we still have to remove 3 cards. Oh, we are just so cooked. I guess, okay, so I do have the monthly card. Like, I have a free delete, right, for the month. Which, no, I mean, I don't have the Senectus weapon, so who cares? I'm not gonna waste something on that. Oh boy. You know what? Sure, man. Take something at this point. I am not feeling confident about our life choices leading up to this point. Get rid of the last basic. So basic card plus weapon. I mean, shockwave debuff would have been nice, I guess. This is the we're in a bad spot, you know, pick. But I think we can wait a little bit, right? We have 2 more shops. I'm not going to waste the credits here then. And I think we have everything correct on the... Yes, yes. That's get deleted. Yes. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're done with meditations at least, so that's good. Oh, wait, training for the card, I guess. Surely she won't have a breakdown, man. It's fine. Again, we don't need any more copies because we don't have the points for it in this build, but we do get a free removal, which is nice. There we go. Vortex. I really wish we could Epiphany Mythics, man. I get why we can't, but whatever. Would be nice to be able to get a cost reduction on that so I could delete the other card instead, but no, not allowed to have nice things, are we? Also, I love the fact that we got 5 free refreshes, man, and I still can't find shit in here. All right, like... Man, having to either get an item to roll an equipment... I mean, we can always get something off the last boss, too. Like, I don't want to waste 200 on that. There's still one more shop, right? Okay, there's still one more shop. We're gonna hold out. We're gonna be hopeful. We'll take the training just because. Yeah, so this is about my luck, because again, we don't have our desire card finished either. Okay, well. All right. I don't think we're finishing this anyways, but it is what it is. One shop, potential... Oh, nope, no item drop. All right, one shop, one chance. Bro, I'm about to just buy a... Like, we don't have a chess piece either. This is so bad. We have what, it's 60. It's 60 coins for the card itself. We removed everything, right? We're done on that. Correct, correct, correct. Yeah, that's all fine. I guess we do training first then, because meditation's fine. We don't hopefully need the rest. And then see if this gives us the card. It does not. So we do have to value trying to roll this down instead. All right, well, you win some, you lose some. Hey, Nico, come on in. Hope you're doing well. We've been trying to finish this. I keep forgetting we don't copy on this one. We've been trying to finish this build basically all day, and let me tell you, it's not been. You know what? Just for the lulz, it's not been kind to us, to say the least. All right, one more into the shredder, I guess. We'll just work on the Arabella build instead. Womp womp. Yeah, like again, the gearing sucks. Like, yeah, sure, we could spend 50k black mass to fix this, but you know. Is there a specific video of yours that outlines how to make a deck from start to finish? Not in season 4. So something to note is that our the point totals for okay, let me just pull up my guide really quick. You'd think I would have this bookmarked by now, but I honestly don't. It's just pinned in the Discord. Give me a second to pull this up. Let me swap my ID so I can change stuff. So something about the points is that these all have different values, and this is something that's changed a bit. Now, I do have like 2 different videos I could recommend about how to like build out these save data. And then there's also the seasonal gimmick that you have to take into consideration, which I do have a video on like which ones I would recommend to farm. So it's kind of split out in 2 different videos, unfortunately, but I would say at least it's out there. So it would all come back to like, how do you know how to build a save data for a character going through chaos, right? That'd be the first place to start. And if you're unfamiliar with any characters, right, I do have this build guide document. If anyone wants to type !infographics in chat, I do have a build guide for every character to know like which epiphanies to look forward to and all that stuff while you are doing a run. Thankfully, with Chaos Delegations, it can be pretty easy and pretty quick to go through this, but otherwise, and then some of these are done by Sue as well, another content creator, for some of his builds. But that is a link to the document, and that will at least tell you what cards to look out for, but otherwise, it's just a get used to running a lot of chaos, I will say. Not a problem. And one day I'm going to go back and find time to put all the extra deck codes in, because I know that's been a requested feature. But like, I don't know what's wrong with the deck code feature, but like I saw, and I don't remember who it was, but whoever it was in the comments who posted deck codes, thank you. I think it was 2 videos ago now. But people are posting deck codes and they're still not working. So it's not just me. It's not just, you know, Unk is struggling with copying, pasting anymore. Like, apparently other people are legitimately having issues too. So I'm sorry it's not perfect, but I'll try to fix a few. Honestly, I think a lot of us are upset about that as well. And I think, unfortunately, it's going to be one of those things where, like, we just have to wait for, Olga. And then there's going to be, like, those builds where everybody, like, swaps their fracture to one guy, and then you just do this big nuke with Arabella. But it's like, okay, so you're telling me that I had to refarm Hilde 3 different times for 3 completely different team comps in the same season. I'm not a fan, man. Like, I have my limits. So the reason, I guess that's a very good point to mention, because now we can swap it. So the survival cards only drop from events in the, oh wait, no, I guess we still have to, no, we still need the survival buff, right? So no matter what, we're stuck running it. Anyways, oh, sorry, not sharing my screen again. These cards, with the survival tag, only drop from events in the current season. And as it is today, if you want the most amount of morale buffs consistently on a team, you have to go for this node in particular, for this chaos in particular. If you have other characters where you can get by and just do like a claim 3 or something, then you can get around that. So like Arabella can run a claim 3 and be perfectly fine. So that is something to consider. But that would mean that you have to run like a survival 3 on your other character, and it gets kind of weird. So yes, you can run Swamp if you want to still, but for all of us that are trying to use like Hilde as well, you still want Driven Hunt to round things out. And I am also, you know, not wanting to go refarm this a billion times. And if I can just do a 2-1 build on everybody and call it good, I'm going to just call it good there. Sure. And just, again, for my own time sanity here, we are just going to be burning delegations. Yeah, I guess we did actually start late on this. Oh, yeah, we will absolutely take a free removal, too. Thank you. And for those that don't know, yes, I am using... No, we want the double save. For anyone that doesn't know, yes, I am using Heidi Mari as my carry because she is a E2 character, and she's never failed me. Does not matter the content, the swamp, or anything. She's just been goated, always. Actually, are we going to use Art of the Unmaking in this build? I guess... So again, Art of the Unmaking is really only good if we're trying to do AoE characters, but the showcase that we're going to be doing is focused on Tower 130, where there's not any characters that have this damage. But I mean, it is... I guess it is just a free attack, right? Is there a different one-cost card I would even... Like, I could change... I could change one of these epiphanies to something else, I guess. So this could be like a... increased damage. Like, we're obviously not going to high roll the weakness attack. Yeah, never mind. I know why I kept it in now. That's fine. We're just like, this is what it is. I guess this means we'd want to... Oh, again, funny enough, right? You could just go get your... you could just get your morale buff with her as well if you really wanted to. I totally forgot to double check neutrals across her kit. But sure, 6 fracture, we'll just, we'll take the looping. And then for her, we do want the extra ability. Matrell, thank you so much for the Prime sub coming in. So again, Sever Ties is the main one that we are looking for here. Here we go. So we're looking for a double survival event, though, but we are going to keep Sever Ties as her base card. Or, sorry, I literally just said double survival. Chest event, can't complain about it too much. We could always use the extra credits to reroll stuff. One more chest, my bad. You know what? Sure, man. It is funny though that we've done 9 delegations today now. 4, 5, 6, 7. Or no, this should be delegation 8, I think, because I had 4 plus 2 plus 2 is 8. We paid for one. No, this is the 10th chaos today, and we don't have one usable build yet for this team that we're working towards, of all things. Holy hell, this is rough. Thank you. I appreciate it. And again, I try to say this all the time, and I have a very open, you know, if I'm streaming, whatever, if you ping me in the Discord, whatever, however you want to get a hold of me, it's perfectly fine. But the thing I'll always say, for because again, you might not know because this might the first time you're stopping by the stream. But I come from a TCG background, so I've been covering TCGs for 12 years, and I am newer to the larger gacha space. So if there's ever questions that you have or other types of videos that you would want to see, feel free to let me know. Like, I literally did the video today on the data download section because somebody asked me on Twitter, and then I checked the main Discord and there was more questions about it. So I'm like, YOLO, I'll just make a video really quick. What cards do I aim for with Ara? Very, very loaded question. It all depends on what type of build you're going for her with. I do have my... Hold on. Boop. In case you missed it, I had this build put up, and I gotta probably change a couple of these now after like more testing, but I have this image shared out on Twitter, Discord, all that good stuff, YouTube posts. I did a video with it. But here's like the generic epiphanies that I would recommend in like the various team situations that you would use for her. Now, unfortunately, there is a lot of wait and see for Olga. Again, as someone who likes to do these types of build videos or build infographics, I'm kind of bummed out that like Hilde was a big wait and see, and we were still wrong about her build because unfortunately, Arabella doesn't interact with her as much as we would like. And I can almost guarantee that this last build, which is the one that I'm personally waiting for, I could almost guarantee that it's going to completely change on how Olga cares about dots, but whatever. I'm going to add another disclaimer in the build guide document, and we'll call it a future me problem. Yeah, so it wasn't unironically, it wasn't even a Brown Dust 2 content creator. About a month ago, there was this thing where like somebody in the Triple Z community got a strike on their account, and they got one of their videos demonetized for like, adult content, and it was just the gacha game itself. So I am trying to be super careful on anything that I post with this character because she is red flag central, man. I'm sorry. I will just take my things here. Oh, clip the infographic. That works. She has one more basic we should be able to remove. Good. I'll just ship that away now. Or wait, we don't need a... I have Hilda in the brain. We don't need to actually search out a basic card for her. What epiphanies do we get? This is fine. Or wait, no, it's not. That one's the damage amp one. Hold on, now I gotta look at my own list. No, isn't this the one that has the damage? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, she has a draw 2 as well. Actually, you know what? Maybe I change this to the draw 2 one just so people can use her in more teams. It also helps you find your fracture amp faster. You know what? I'm gonna change this for less damage, but just like hyper consistency. So I am changing my mind in real time. Hold on, let me find my Chrome tab really quick. And then CZN, and then we are going to meditate this actually. Isn't that what it was? Okay, whatever. I'll just pick the damage increase one, because sure, why not? We don't need any training. Does 7 claim work in this build? Yes. So the thing about 7 claim, for those that didn't catch our desire build breakdown, is that you're not always going to be able to like consistently activate it. And if you have Cassius in your team, you don't actually need the extra morale from the claim 7 payoff card. So it's wasted morale, or it's wasted points. Now, again, the argument there then becomes like, if you go for the claim build, you just don't have to use Cassius, and for some people, that's great. But you still have to make up that morale elsewhere. But for the team that I'm currently building for, which I've already like done all my morale math and my AP math and my draw and all that stuff, we are using Cassius because Cassius by himself will get to 20 morale in this build. Get rid of that as well. Drink your water before you go pass out, Blood. Take care of yourself. Do we even have her Epiphany card yet? I don't think we do, right? No, so we can't even try to high roll this, unfortunately. Sure. This one we need to refresh until we get a survival. There we go. Come on, click through. I just hate how long this takes to cycle through. But again, we still don't have her card, so we can't target... Can't even target the divine that we want. So actually, we're just gonna burn the divine on somebody else, because again, we don't want this to, I think this is the one that triple selects it, if I remember correctly. So we just want to upgrade something else so it doesn't need a potential divine later. Magna? Are you just doing like the AoE counterattack build for her? Or the AoE vulnerable counterattack, I guess I should specify? Man, is this still... It's not the right one that we want. This does give us the fracture amp, like, immediately on the character instead of having to wait for it. No, we'll just have to re-roll it. It's fine. While I have not personally confirmed it, I will trust the source on that one. Because Judge does a lot of great work and does all of the, like, the actual hand-by-hand calculations and Excel deep dives and stuff. So the current recommendation is going to be obviously attack stat, but like if you have an absolutely goated instinct piece with like the most sick, you know, substats on her, like 4 for 4, you can just use that for a little bit. Yes, you will be doing less damage on the fracture builds, but for a lot of people, you'll just want to have, you know, those substats until you can find a better piece later. But it's not going to, like, prevent you from clearing the Great Rift or anything like that. Damn, we are getting all the divines out of the way, apparently. Can I please get your copy card? No, I cannot. Okay, well, hope you get another epiphany then. Oh dear, we might not even get her, we might not even get her copy card before the boss. That's how it be sometimes, I guess. Oh, right, we want to re-roll that. We actually do care about the meditation here. None of the above, thank you. All right, well, we got one more fight to try to get the card, I guess. Nope. Holy divines, brother. Did I miss something where, like, they swapped on the divine chance? Holy shit. Oh yeah, it's just double fracture, right? It was the... Where's my notes? Yeah, double fracture. Wow, what a stage, I guess. Holy hell. All right, it's totally gonna proc during the boss. Trust. As if we're not wasting infinite to try to re-roll this, though, already. The nightmare is ongoing, as we say. Skip all that. We gotta save our money. Okay, well, this is a failed run if we don't get the card to show up immediately. That's unfortunate. Let's call that like failed run 11 or something at this point. Mainly just to survive the 8 turns because that rearguard boss hurts. Yeah, I gotta, I don't know when now at this point, but like my easy answer is just use Adelheid, and I'm sure that will like clear up that issue. But I don't know like what's gonna be like the next best recommendation. But Adelheid having all the blessings and the healing and the shield while also working with survival 5 is gotta just be good. But yeah, I did like my one attempt earlier just to wow, we can't even get a good start, man. Oh wait, that's A cube, I guess. Sure, A cube is usable. I did like my one run. I got absolutely walloped by the rear guard. I was like, oh shit, we gotta come back to this later. So I wanna do my my single target damage build showcase hopefully before I leave for the weekend, but next week will probably be like a Great Rift review of like, here's what people are, you know, doing, and here's a couple different team builds or something. I also wanted to do a full-scale offensive video this time that it recycled, but I have not had a lot of time. But what I think would be really cool that, and I'm trying to, I'd have to actually like plan out the teams, but what I'm really curious on is if you were to buy a full team's save data for the full-scale offensive, is that good enough to get triple star on every single full-scale offensive boss? And not to sit here and promote, you know, buying the builds, because obviously, you know, I try to take the more free-to-play focus, and I don't think people should be spending their crystals. I think you should just play the game to go farm those saves. But if the builds are good enough where they can triple star full-scale offensive, I think that's like kudos to the devs at least, right? So I feel like one of the content creators, and I realize the irony of me saying that, but like I feel like one of the content creators should do that for a video. But unfortunately, I work full-time, and I'm trying to finish, you know, I'm trying to put my money where my mouth is with the single target build. So that is my current priority, I will say. Yes, more money, please. We can't afford to re-roll this. Well, there's some that are, there's not, isn't the #1 player with Adelheid right now? I guess we'd have to go look at that. I mean, I could probably figure out their builds if I was looking at it. Oh, sick. I totally forgot this was a new run already, so we actually got the right epiphany on that. Also, oh, that was the wrong one. I know it's like nuanced, but I think there's two very different epiphanies that you can take for that card in particular, because either you're trying to ramp up her mythic card damage to do enough to kill all the ads of like normal tower content, or you're just going all in on her single target build where the 120 is going to be better. Are you kidding me? Or I guess we only need one of them, right? So sure. Actually, never mind. This is fine. That's usable enough. Top 5 teams right now are 3 Adelheid and 2 Narja. Okay, that makes oh yeah, I guess. Oh, that's shitty. Yeah, I guess Narja works because you get the veracity healing, but you don't get the extra damage on fracture like you do with Adelheid. Yeah, so I would assume like a 3-2 split for Adelheid is going to be the better option. Wrong card. Or again, I keep forgetting we need a claim card to build off of, so I should still be fishing for the claim card. Is 9 still a crazy chaos run wheelchair? Yeah, 9 Massacre is still very good. Tenebria is very good. Like honestly, it feels like a lot of what the devs are doing is trying to balance around Sortie. So like we keep having these characters that just are absolute bangers for Sortie, and I don't know if that's indicative of their plans for the future of the game and kind of where things are going from there. But you know, making Sortie easier, I think, is definitely a goal for them to hit right now. Sure, man. Give me a little bit of shield, I guess. I'm really struggling here. We do not have her divine card yet, do we? Nope, we sure don't. So another... You know what? Whatever. We'll just YOLO it onto somebody else's card then. Yeah, get something else epiphanied, right? All right, there we go. We're gonna get our survival card out of the way at least, because again, we want 1 survival and then, or sorry, 2 survival and a sever ties. No, we don't have a. Okay, we just want to burn the divine on somebody else then. Also keep in mind that is like another reason for Claim 7 is that you are getting the extra resolve out of it, which is going to be beneficial for characters like Adelheid, who wants to spam out multiple shield generation abilities per turn. So that's also nice, I guess. Or what are we doing? Do we have a meditation target? I think we're good actually. That's fine. That is good enough. I don't care to waste early gold on it. We do need to start removing a couple extra things. Doesn't hurt to do a little window shopping, I guess. I say that, but I have like no idea what we're looking for other than with like random sever ties popping up here would be fine. Oh, it's only strikers. Yeah, we don't want to... I want to pick this eventually for the completion, but we don't want it right now. Okay. I could not remember for the life of me what this was, but yeah, we'll just take the Epiphany choice. Not the right one. It's gonna be her last one again. There we go. We found our sever ties at least. Love that for us. But yeah, I do think that there's gonna be once we see our 1-year anniversary, which hoping that it's going to come with the roadmap, we might have a little bit more idea of what to expect. But Sortie definitely feels like it's kind of a key importance for where they're going. I think the seasonal gear makes a lot more sense if we just accept that this season was supposed to be nerfed, but again, they did some emergency rebalancing to Survival 5 and stuff, and they just didn't have time to update a lot of the gearing. That is at least still my tinfoil hat theory. Dude, we still don't have her card. So what are we missing? Oh, we still need a weapon as well. There she goes doing her thing. Well, it's just like, do we want to have a bullet sponge, you know, style of gameplay going forward, or did we accept that Season 3 was so grossly overpowered that they needed to bring down the overall power level for this season? So I would say it's like less that it was okay, but more of like what's better for the game's future. Are we just like... Are we just cooked? You know what? Fine, man. We'll try to... If I have to burn a copy card, we'll burn a copy card. But, like, this is just not... These runs are not lining up for us at all. I do agree that Sortie feels a bit long. Like, I know what they were going for, and I think it's nice that, like, they have, like, the ramping up experience, but, like, if you try to do the harder stages and you sit there and try to play for, like, an hour and a half timed run, it's asking a lot for a mobile game. And yes, obviously I'm playing on the PC client right now, but I recognize that for a lot of people, it is going to... What other weapons does she even have in this season? Oh, new Brave Frontier tweet. Sorry, my life stops for Brave Frontier news. Oh, more gacha information? Interesting. So those that don't know, one of the games that I'm like really looking forward to next year is Brave Frontier, which is a throwback to a game that, while I barely remember at this point, I do have fond memories of every time I see the UI. But apparently, there's going to be a story update. I think is the next one. I guess I'm just open this in a different tab. I think the story update is the next thing in September, but we're still waiting to see on the how they're going to update the gacha for 2026. Okay, their website's still broken. Got it. Yeah, September 3rd is going to be the story update. So we'll see. But yeah, so there's conversations currently about, like, you know, pity system. What are they going to do for pull rates if, like, they do the standard 10 pulls for everybody? I'm gonna be super honest. I don't even remember the gacha at this point. Like, Puzzles and Dragons was like a pull 5, if I remember correctly. God, it's I don't know, man. It's been forever. All I know is that Grand Blue Fantasy is the reason why we have pity in gacha games. Let me pull that back to the other side. Okay, nothing else from the... Oops, close it out on my main screen, too. Give me the money for re-rolling, please. Thank you. Isn't there something supposed to be like if you click all these? Actually, I know there's a side quest for like clicking on all the logs and stuff, but I have not gone through my challenge list this season yet for all the different buffs and stuff. But we do need a... Hold on. We need one more desire card, right? Yeah. One more survival, please. Yep. Any survival buff does. There we go. We have our desire cards now. Why run Cassius in Season 4 and not Swamp? What items does Cassius want from Swamp? Okay, finally. Okay, we do have her, we got her card. Great. Let's see if we can get the copy event, I guess, maybe. Isn't the clover just the plus 10%, or am I misremembering the item itself? We did all of her removal. What am I forgetting? Did we seriously? Oh, I guess we haven't meditated yet because we haven't got our damn copy card. That's why. That's what I'm forgetting. We don't got a weapon either. Yeah, this is a cooked run, but for the sake of this, we're gonna try to go through the rest of it now. Try to at least get our reroll. Holy cow! Yeah, this is why we're trying to spark this epiphany to try to get a reroll very, very quickly. Yeah, we are not getting anything this run. Oh, I'm misremembering what clover or flower that you're talking about then. Hold on. Database, equipment. Oops, wrong one. I know the full health one, but... Ah, Clover the Forest, yes. Isn't that the event one? I mean, technically you can get that on a, technically you can get that on a hammer then, right? Which means, you could, like, season 2 it, I guess, somehow? Yeah. Oh. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, we're not just talking about morale buffs, right? We're also having to figure out, like, what is the rest of the team factoring in? So, like, you would have to fundamentally change the complete build for, like, how you're trying to do the clover then instead. You also would need to have triple 1 instead of the upgrade. So you have a 25% chance to even get it to begin with. Oh, 10% crit chance, man, sure. Wait, is it through a card or through an effect? Hold on, let me read that again. Oh, yeah, it's recover through a card, man. So, yeah, no. We have a 25% chance to get a buff. I am not a gambling man. We have our card finished. Wrong one. Good lord. And we have 2 cards we gotta fix now, unfortunately. Yes, we are always playing Full House. Full House is a 3+3 draw. Yeah. Okay, so the fact that this does at least count hers, and like if we, I'm not even gonna, I don't know about this one, man. We're just gonna have to re-roll that. I give up. Everything's removed. We're not grabbing anything else. But so, sorry, before I get too distracted and get too far away from that, I do want to acknowledge that, to pause for a second, I do want to acknowledge that if you go back to like our Heidi Marie video, we are actually using 111 in that instance. So if I was going to make a new team that had that Heidi Marie build, then yes, I would want to put the flower on it because you do use 111 for that team in particular. However, you're not, for the vast majority of teams that we're trying to build decks around, we are basically banking on the free +3 draw that Cassius provides, because otherwise you're just not going to be as consistent as you want in your one-turn deck cycles for those builds. So I don't want to like discredit what you're saying. I'm not trying to like say that like that's never correct. I'm just trying to say for like what we have in our current build, it's not going to work as easily unless we fundamentally change how we approach it, because then also we have to ask the question, well, who's providing the AP? Because if we're using 111, that automatically increases our overall cost of the build for how we're going to line that up. Sure, random draw. Yeah, it was really annoying to clear through all those, I will admit. That's only the random enemy. We don't need a neutral. I mean, sure. Let's just pick the last one, right? Yep, I have a full video on the channel about his build in particular. Oh, we're only gonna be able to have one more shop anyways. This was very unfortunate. Nope. All right, man. Oh God, this is the bane of my. There's no more shops, right? This is just the bane of my existence. Yep. Okay. Nope. We're out. 1 point. Or I guess it's not even a 16, right? Or it is a 15. Yeah. We'll save the chaos, I guess. Insult to injury, I guess, but that's fine. Hold on. I don't think we have a backup build for her, right? Change. No, that's the one that we just did. Okay, no, these are terrible. Nope, you're getting deleted. Again, I think fundamentally it is different builds, but like for as long as Cassius has been meta, like Full House has been the go-to, just because you always have zeros that you can loop with it. But again, like that's kind of the good thing about Chaos Zero Nightmares. There are multiple ways to build that out. Now that said, I'm not sure that I would want to try to build Glorious Resistance in the current Great Rift, and that's probably just because I haven't min-maxed for it yet, but you could try to find a way to heal through all that damage with Cassius as well. But I do remember Glorious Resistance being a big pain back in Season 1 when we had Chains of Obsession. Where am I going? I'm going for my chaos. Nope, wrong one. So, again, I can only ever speak to how he fits into this particular build. The mines are forever. We're used to it. That was what? Failed run 11, I think. Keep me honest. Ugh. The credits is very tempting, but maybe it gets us a free cocoon cape and everybody's happy. Well, I mean, the thing about triple mind break is, like, 2 of them are currently already in that status, so we just keep running it back. Yeah, tower. So tower could work too, but that's also why I made the. I did a video that uses Survival 7, and Survival 7 plus Cassius, you're just immortal. Like there's no two ways about it. So I made like just a more very generic works for everybody, and you can literally take Cassius Survival 7 and any characters you want through tower, and never have to worry about it. It is so insanely broken. But again, that's just like, hey, Cassius is already really broken, so it's not that surprising that he's even more broken when we have the seasonal gimmick that works very well for him. I keep forgetting that we're looking for a claim card. We do need our severed ties at the base. I'm just so used to looking for survival stuff. But yeah, our build was like, what, 20 morale, 13 resolve, and 6 fortitude every turn, or something like that. It was a good time. It was a good time. Actually, it's on the thumbnail. Now I'm curious what that sounded high. I think it was 11 resolve, wasn't it? I gotta keep myself honest. 20 morale. Okay, 20 morale, 14 resolve, 6 fortitude. There we go. That is what the final min-max build was. And so, to your point, though, like, that would be a team that, if you wanted to go through it and find a way to get a flower on Mika, you absolutely could. Or, again, depends on who your third character is. But that's another build where it's like, no matter what, because you have Cassius and Mika combined together, you're going to very consistently hit full house every single time for the full 3 value. So if I wasn't... I guess could Ray? No, because Ray doesn't have cards for it. Narja has 0, so like Narja Cassius is easy for full house. Typhera Cassius is obviously stupid easy for full house. That's like just the easiest one out of all of them. Veronica is free. Hilde is free. Yeah, like there's a couple different. Again, the question becomes like survivability, though, right? That's the main question. I will finish those control builds at some point as well. All right. Whatever. We got ourselves a little lizard boy. Nope. We do not need that. No, we'll just take the extra money. We have, like, low rolled all day on this. Oh no, because we give up Fracture, right? Hold on. It'd be double hit of Fracture that we're giving up. Okay, that's not worth it. Funny, because again, it's a multi-hit. The Agony in theory would work for Olga when she comes out. Like, this is awkwardly a maybe somewhat relevant monster card if you want it to be, but for this build, we're skipping on it for now. We do not know Olga's kit, unfortunately. It is a lot of speculation. We do have the devs video, or sorry, from the initial dev stream that like hinted at her kit, but after what they said about Hilde's kit and then how it interacted with Arabella's kit, like I don't trust anything. Like, show me the full Olga kit. I don't care. Like, there might be leaks again that ended up being wrong. I don't care. Just show me, like, I'll wait until Olga's full kit is out this time. I will not get jebaited twice by leaks. No, you're fine. Like I said, again, the thing about CZN is that there's just so many, you know, team combinations that you can pull off that it's a much higher level conversation to be had. But to your point, like, I do think Flower is very good. And that is Resolve, which is not what we want either. Well, the good news is that we got Sadistic Restraint before the boss this time, so as long as we get a chance to re-roll it, we should be okay, potentially. Keyword on potentially here. Is that 4 elites already? Bro, we do not want the card. At this point, sure, I'll take the Scorch damage, I guess. Shockwave is a harmful effect, so yay, I guess. Start removing some cards. Have any favorite songs to listen to when I'm grinding out right now? No, I just always play, so Riot Games has a playlist called Sessions that is creator-friendly music, so I always just listen to those three in the background. Unfortunately, if y'all can't tell, I got that tism, so I listen to the same CD until that shit has, like, a played circle in it. Like, I run that shit out. Like, I have a Grand Blue Fantasy CD in my car right now, and I guess I don't drive as much because I do work from home more days than not. I have not changed that shit out in like 2 months. It probably drives Bree crazy, and she just has not said anything. And she also is not, you know, driving with me as much, but I have dead ass left that CD in the car. It plays every time that I'm going to play cards or whatever. Same CD that's been playing for 2 months now, probably. My car is a 2009 Honda Element. We are old out here. I totally forgot. Do we get our card, man? Yes, we need survival. All right, sick. We got our, or maybe, okay, there we go. I'm like, sick, we got our card. I mean, we say better than public transport, but it really depends on what type of public transport we're talking to, because, you know, go to Japan and it's a very different conversation for sure. Oh, thank God we got the copy target at least. Okay, maybe we can save this run. Holy shit. That has unique. Okay, and we have 100% copy chance right now. Okay, maybe this will be the run. Maybe this will be the one. I guess we haven't seen Cthulhu yet, so buying RFS early feels not great. We'll just save that. But yeah, so, long story short, I actually hate driving, man. It's been it's been a while since I was in Japan, but then like last year, because my partner studied abroad and other stuff was happening at the time, I actually got to go to Japan twice, which I was very fortunate for. But after spending like 2.5 weeks in Japan and just getting to use trains to go everywhere, man, I hate driving now. I cannot stand driving anymore. Hate that shit for real. But again, living in the States, we obviously have very poor public infrastructure, so I can't hate having a car in America, but I would love to live somewhere where I don't need to have it. Sure, man. Harmful effect, the build. Actually, wait a minute. Now that I think about it, oh, I totally just blanked on this until now, too, right? Didn't they change it in the mid-season where the events for the theater happen outside, or is that... Or no, because it's still event-based, not, What is the wording on that stupid... I think you can get one survival card outside of the theater, right? But you can't do, like, survival 2, if I remember correctly. I need to go back and look at that chaos note again. Bro, please drop gun. Help a guy out. Never lucky. Oh, well shit, I guess we're already done with our epiphanies. Yeah, I mean, it's very different vibes, right? Like, as much as I will say that I love Tokyo and just having a bunch of stuff around, I would actually say that I would love to... If I were to pick between living in Tokyo versus living in Kyoto, I would probably live in Kyoto instead. Like, I very much appreciate the city side of Japan. Did we remove everything? Kyoto is very beautiful. Okay, free removal. But at the same time, like, I love the arcades of Tokyo, so... Hey, Sue. No, I'm just, where's my infographic? I'll just pull you really quick. So I'm just working on trying to build out her single target build, but I've been trying to find quick shelling for my Hilde, and I have literally failed 8 runs of trying to just get the quick shelling onto the character. And yes, I know that you can edit it in, but I don't know what happened, but man, quick shelling does not appear anymore. I was very upset about it, but no, I'm in the current process of completely refarming my account so that I could do a single target showcase, which is, you know, the bane of my existence right now. And then I also have to change my Cassius to have 2 of these idiots. But yeah, how you feeling about her, Sue? I haven't had a chance to sync up with you yet. Do we need 5 or 7 claims for Arabella? I mean, I guess it's largely going to come down to what teams that you're trying to put together with her and the content that you want to throw her into. I am personally using 5 survival, 3 claim for my builds because I want to do the multi-hit style, which Fracture is going to have more value. But if we're trying to do what will likely be more important once we have Olga, you're going to want the 35% increased damage instead. So your mileage may vary. Yeah, I talked about that exact build, Sue, because I really want to see like a build come together that works for the overall Fracture like nuke side. But when I was doing it, I only was able to get, like, I didn't have a finalized build or anything, but like I was only doing 15k like for the Fracture damage, and I'm like, okay, it's not great. You know, could be better, I guess. But it was just not doing relevant damage, I felt like. So I'm assuming that we're just really going to need Olga for that build. Observation logs does not matter for her because we don't have the extra. What is it again? It's 20 and 5, right? Yeah, we're talking about a 2% crit chance. Like, sure, man. We just take the 2% crit chance, I guess. Yippee. I mean, I guess we just try to re-roll it. Or no, this one is the wrong. Okay, hold on. I'm like, surely we did not get every epiphany that we needed. Okay, thank goodness. We're good. We're fine. Everything's great. Didn't just ruin everything. We're fine. Okay, we have all the cards removed. We need a weapon. Yes, we need a weapon for her. So we didn't get Cthulhu, so I guess we want to try to find RFS if we can. I guess. We have only one more shop, so we're gonna spend the extra credits to roll down. I mean, shit, this even is gonna be better than Scorched, man. Okay, we're gonna hope to find RFS in the next one then. Oh, wait, no. Oh, you're doing a different... Oh, no, no, no. I meant doing, No, I want to do one that's, Yes, I'm doing that one, but no, I'm talking about the 2-cost one. Is it 2-cost? Hold on. Oh, I have to click on our actual card. Yeah, I'm talking about this one too, the 2-cost. Because if you put a divine on it, Oh, can I just not fucking read? But yeah, this is the one that I was gonna try to do for like the actual build up and nuke. But again, I think it's gonna be... It's one of those things that we're probably gonna have to wait for Arabella to be more relevant. But again, like the initial... Like I tried one of them and I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, here's a small amount of fracture damage. And then, you know, it's equivalent to like one normal attack of the multi-hit build. So it's like... You know, part of the issue is that you're going to want to be able to stack vulnerable consistently after the applications, which can be difficult, at least for right now. So I got to figure out like how to solve for vulnerable to trigger in a meaningful way. You know, can't really always rely on Magna for everything sort of thing. But yeah, I haven't really put it together yet just because of how AP expensive it was. And I was like, okay, well then I can use Typhara. But then if I use Typhara, I'm losing out on a lot of other damage buffs. So I put this one on hold because I want to do the single target stuff. And I'm also traveling this weekend, so I'm going to be a bit behind on the other stuff. None of these help me. None of them helped me, unfortunate. Yep, yeah, you're on the same page. Yeah, that last one that you sent me is the one I was talking about, because the fact that it's limited to a unique card to only trigger like Hilde's and Olga's abilities, I have to assume that Olga's gonna have something crazy to round it out and make it better. Jesus, get rid of this item. Hey, Monster, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Sure, take resolve, it doesn't matter. The other epiphanies don't matter. Do we finished our card, right? Yeah, we finished our card, so we just need... Sure, we'll try to roll. Great. I don't think we have a epiphany, though, right? Everything else is done. Yeah, I guess just the money. I think there's only one shop left, though, right? So we can't even really utilize the yeah, there's only one shop left, so none of those were great. Can't decide between Typhera, ADHD, and Cassius for Great Rift. Honestly, all three are perfectly fine, unless you're going for, like, top 10 leaderboard. You know, just use whichever one you like, is what I would say. How's Arabella, mommy? I think if she was not a seasonal character, a lot of us would not be as upset. I think that's what I have to, like, just boil the conversation down to. I think she's very fine for what she is. But outside of that, she definitely leaves a little bit to be desired, I feel. But again, I think a big disclaimer around that is that we don't have Olga. So it's like, it's hard to fully evaluate a character when we are missing her literal key support. Oh, wait, we did finish this. Yeah, none of those matter. Skip, my bad. Oh, wrong character. Wrong character. My brain is... This is why you don't go to bed at 4 a.m., y'all, to finish that video. I am fried. Sure. I'm assuming that works with Fracture, right? So it should be better. If Agony ever becomes relevant because of Olga and because we know she has a detonate Agony card, maybe. We're not gonna have any ads. We can't even use this, man. Whatever. We're gonna get the 20% crit damage off the final boss and everything will be fine. It'll be great. It's fine. All right, man. Sure. Oh, get it. I forgot about the fracture part, right? Because it's not going to count for fracture, so it's actually probably a better damage the other one. It's just 0 cost equals RFS is so ingrained into my brain. I would have to assume that 12% is actually the better choice there of the two. I am going to redo this run anyways, I think. Is Arabella the first character we know that she may need the upcoming character? Yes. I mean, that's how this season was in general, is that the devs said up front, hey, expect that all of these characters are going to work together and want to be on a team. Now, again, the devs suggested teams and what are best teams don't always work out anyways. So do keep that as a, small grain of salt, but we'll have to see what it looks like in the end. Okay, I mean, I guess I won't delete it, but I'm not happy with that. I'll save it though. Yeah, so I guess maybe that's like my other commentary around her in general. And like, I don't like rating characters for their sortie and chaos value, because I recognize that not a lot of people either care with or engage in those game modes in a meaningful way. So it's like, I really do think that if we're just talking about her value for other content in the game that makes your life a little bit easier to farm, and especially if you don't have Tenebria for whatever reason, yeah, you're probably still happy to pick up Arabella, because she is just going to crash through the sortie for you. And even more so if you get her E2, which is like a huge quality of life improvement for sortie. Sure, like that's all fine, but I don't want to I don't want to sit here and like say, oh my god, she's the greatest under the sun, where I think like a lot of value for this character is actually more focused on sortie and the direction that the game is going in for that, because she's just so good at clearing and she has so much consistency baked into her kit. So, you know, how much you value sortie at and like that quality of life stuff, you may have an opinion on how you value her kit. E1 or E2 max. So yeah, again, shout out to everyone who's done the testing and all that stuff too, but like, because the way her character, her partner works, you do absolutely want to make sure that you get her partner. But then otherwise, like the E2, I just don't feel as strongly about compared to like Hadimari. But the E2 is a very nice quality of life thing for sortie. So if you see yourself using this character a lot and you are going to be using her as your primary driver for crashing through sortie, then just grab her E2, whatever. Like, obviously, to use your Omega codes is what I would recommend instead, but that's, again, I feel a little bit awkward saying, like, hey, a main selling point of this character for potentially a lot of people is going to be more sortie than actual content in the game, until I am adding my disclaimer here. Please pay attention. Jingle, jingle, pay attention. I'm adding a disclaimer. Jingle, jingle. I'm adding the disclaimer here that that opinion will likely change once we get Olga and the rest of Arabella's cards are going to make sense. Yeah, finding out the partner buff is a final amplification is wild, but again, we all asked for stronger partners, and Smilegate did deliver. Actually, let me look at that build again. Recommending Cassius and one more for Arabella? Honestly, it just depends on who you're using. Like, what content are you looking to clear? Max the partner and leave her at E0. How much? I haven't looked into how far the scaling goes. Watch my latest video and you got the weakness Fortitude Divine. Is that the best to get? Should I use items to build the deck around that Divine? Okay, so huge disclaimer. I do not recommend trying to farm for the weakness attack Fortitude decrease, because one, it limits what content you can ever use that build in, because they have to be instinct weakness. And two, it is a nightmare of black mass to spend to try to get it to begin with. Like, you might legitimately spend 200k black mass to make that deck. I would not recommend that for 99% of people. If you want to go chase that down, have at it. But that's why I'm working on... All right, hold on. Let me share my... That's why I'm working on this one instead, because like this will be a very strong and very consistent single target damage build for Arabella. It will not be her best damage potential, but again, for like 99% of people, this build will be good enough, and you'll be happy with the damage and all the numbers and all that good stuff that you're going to get out of it. But yes, if we're talking about strictly what is going to be the best build, if you can find a way to get your 20 morale, to get your various other buffs going, and then also find a way to pay for all the AP because it is very expensive to stack up the 4 extra AP in the build if you use weakness attack and not AP reduction. Sure, you will have, in theory, the highest damage build for Arabella, but it is not something I would recommend any sane person to try to go farm. %8 damage increase, 8% attack increase, and 10% crit chance increase. God damn, that is a lot. Can I teach you how to cope with how awful it is to roll for attack card epiphanies? Nope, because I just say go for AP and don't worry about the rest, because at least the AP is significantly easier to get. Now again, depending on the attack card, you could roll a skill. You could use a skill card to hold the divine and then roll it over to attack, but that's, again, for 99 times out of 100, the builds that I'm ever going to recommend is just having you use the AP reduction, because it works in more teams and it's just easy to build. Again, I know people miss like my rant / disclaimer earlier, but like I will always focus on the builds that are good enough and will still give you the payoff the character is trying to achieve. Sure. Should probably have just use these really quick instead of just burning through this. Okay, yeah, if you got it during a chaos run, I think that's fine. That's the same thing that happened to me, and I was like, you know what? Sure. The problem is, like, you just need so much damn AP to make it work, man, where it's like, okay, we're back to using Typhara, but then, like, Typhara doesn't really bring anything else to that team because the triangle buff doesn't work, her event horizon doesn't work, so the best thing that Typhara is then bringing is, to go back to what we were talking about earlier, Typhara can use the flower because she has all her archetypes that are going to heal. So it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, like, I get it. 10% attack is good, but you're not able, like, you don't have vulnerable. You don't have other things that you can bake into her kit. So it's like, is that really worth it? Yeah, I guess. But then, like, you can't use Narja, right? You can't use Narja because the veracity and the predation do not work with fracture. So yes, bottomless hunger would be like the second best recommendation for cheating AP, much like we did with the Haru build. But unfortunately, a third of your overall damage does not interact with the buff that Narja provides. So it's like, okay, I guess I'm using Typhara as the legitimately only option that you have for making that team build work. You could probably cope something out with Mika and using the double AP source of waters as well. But it just doesn't feel good. It just, no way that you slice it does it feel good. Pridewind build worth going for? I don't fuck with Pridewind. And again, I literally mean that at face value. I don't mean to be like make some micro drama out of it. I do not engage with, I do not look at, Pridewind does not exist to me. Orlea cannot generate enough AP, no. And again, the unfortunate part is, like, Cassius just has way too much value for what he is. So, Cassius by nature automatically limits what other team members you can fit in. And yes, I do still need to go to story. I've just been trying to work on these damn videos. How are we doing on time? Okay, yeah, we'll do one more, I guess. Try to hit a random 15 and then... because again, I got like 3 hours of sleep last night, y'all. I'm sorry. Your boy is struggling like hell today. I guess we only had one... I want to build a deck for DPS Hilde. Can you recommend which place is best to farm this? So like homing arrows, then you mean? Do I have that infographic still? Do you mean like this one, I assume? Where it's just like, oops, all homing arrows sorts of thing? Because the unfortunate answer is that the best desire card this season is Ranger cards because of the decreased fortitude. So the real answer here is that you just want the you want to stay in the current season because of this one card. Arbaz, that is correct. You do want to use an attack chalice instead. Now, again, if you have some insane 4-stack nonsensical instinct percent chalice and you have an attack chalice that has like defense, health, use the instinct one until you get a better attack one. Why going for survival 5 over claim 8? Because it's better. That's the only other answer, I guess. You get more flexibility in your cards. You're able to not have to refarm everything every single season, every single time. 5-3 is just way easier to use in a lot of situations. And again, also, I'm using Cassius in all of my builds. So the payoff card for claim doesn't do anything for my team at all. It is waste of morale. If I was using Adelheid, for example, then yes, I could use it because she doesn't give as much morale. But I am, again, where is it? I am using, oh, actually, we did still have this infographic, I guess. Anyways, if you missed my survival shenanigans build, it was that one. But this is what I was talking about. The reason why we're using this is really just because you don't have to then refarm every other character, because no matter what, you make your 2 supports use the survival claim, and then whoever your last character is, it does not matter what damage dealer it is, your last character can use any desire card and make the build work. So it's just a way to prevent you losing sanity like I am currently having to do in refarming every single trio every single time I want to test a new build or something. But so again, this is just a how to not lose your mind this season and having to micromanage every single build for every single character, for every single desire buff, because you will lose your sanity. So, because of the changes, Season 4 did power creep Season 3, except for the extra attack, still bugged or broken, whatever you want to call it, Selena builds. Because whatever that engraving is, for whatever reason, is not capped. I don't have that infographic on hand, I don't think. I don't. Nope, I don't have it. So the short answer is, like, for the vast majority of teams currently, and again, it's just due to morale slop nonsense of Cassius, you are going to want to do Season 4. If you are trying to do, like, a striker team that wants to abuse, like, that, the plus 450% or whatever it is from Season 3, but that's very limited on what characters it wants to use it, that could also be very good. But again, something to think about is that the Persona Striker card that was broken in Season 3 does not work with a third of Arabella's damage, so it's not going to be ideal on her when so much of everything that we have in Season 4 is focused around Fracture. And it's going to be even less important when we think about the Olga build, which we assume is going to be focused on having a big Fracture detonate instead of the multi-hit morale slop that we're doing. Well, it just sucks that we don't have, like, it's really difficult to try to build these character kits just to have them completely change in 3 weeks because of these new builds that come out. Like, again, I'm honestly just so upset with it that we're gonna have to keep refarming these builds for the dot damage. You know, when we get to Olga. Like, I am absolutely sure that as soon as Olga gets here, we are probably gonna like hard swap to Desire 7, right? But then, shocker, we're gonna have to refarm every single character that goes on that team because we were not using, or is it Claim 7, I think that's a Desire. We have to completely change it to get the dot damage, which means we have to then again refarm everything for that trio, right? So again, the reason why I just will say, like, for 99% of people, just do this. Just do this and save your sanity, guys. Don't do the bullshit that I'm doing and having to refarm every single team, every single nonsense. Just do this. Forget the rest of the season. Do your double survival, 1 claim on your 2 key characters that you're going to use all season long, and let the last one be whatever it needs to be. Oh, it's frustrating. It's so frustrating at this point. And again, that's also why I did this build where it's like, look, everybody has Mika, and hopefully most people have Cassius. Just do Gilded Nest on these 2 characters, and I promise you it's going to carry you through 99% of Season 4, and you will not care. Oh. This is what too much... Dude, like, here's the thing, right? I farmed that Cassius and Mika build day 1 of Season 3, and I did not have to update them the entirety of Season 3. We were just coasting on vibes, y'all. We were chilling. Everything was fine. Cassius and Mika, everybody was happy, right? Or like the Selena Mark 1, right? We built the Selena deck. Okay, that's Selena. We did not have to change. We did the Hugo build. We did the Heidi Marie build. We tried to do like the solo DPS, which wasn't as good, but it still worked, I guess, right? Selena build with other combatants. We did not have to refarm Selena. She just stayed golden. I have to refarm every single character every single time that I want to change something. Oh, yeah, sorry, small disclaimer here. The reason why we're using Gilded Nest is because this build in particular was all about getting 14 resolve. So this entire build was all about, like, no matter what, you're not going to die. Because you just get like 1,400 shield per turn or whatever it was. I forget now. And that's on top of max damage buffs, you know, the fortitude as well, and being AP positive. So it's like, okay, this is all fine. Or I should say AP neutral when you combine both of them together, whatever, right? Or it's +1 AP. Oh, now I forget. It's 1 AP, right? Yeah, you get +1 AP. So it is AP positive when you combine these 2 together. So like, I just tried to, like, I'm going to be so real with you guys. I tried to offer up this build to the greater community to just be like, look, just build this and you will not have to refarm anything else the rest of the season because this will carry any character through tower. It'll clear, I promise you it'll clear through Great Rift if you have Arabella or Hilde as a 3rd slot. Like, this is the one build you need and everything else will be fine. Now again, if you want to actually do proper min-maxing, if you want to get more damage, if you want to chase the leaderboard, then obviously you're going to need to change that. But if you're just trying to figure like one generic build that just works and you're not going to have to waste dozens of hours micromanaging desire buffs, go watch this video. It's just what I would recommend. I again, was just not overall happy with this nonsense of the going back and forth that we're doing now. And so again, to close on this, right? To go back to the example of the question. With this build up here, you know, that is the one difference. Like, you could make this survival card, you know, a survival 1 and then 1 of the other points. But generally for Hilde, you want this to be a survival 3. Because in most of the teams, you're trying to get the max morale to then combo with her decreased fortitude. So you do just want to have this be a 3 survival more cases than not. But as my token call out here is make sure you have quick shelling in her build as well, because it is very, very good. Yeah, again, I I said this earlier in the stream, and like, the fact that I've basically wasted a day and a half now trying to refarm everything to fix this build for Arabella to like showcase properly the single target build, and just knowing that I'm going to have to completely scrap these again as soon as Olga comes out and then refarm the desire cards all over again, it doesn't feel great. I'm going to be very upfront with you. It does not feel good. I am tired. I know we're getting sortie improvements. I know we are getting other quality of life stuff down the road, but I legitimately feel that I am going to finish this. Well, I want to finish this showcase build, and I want to finish the oh god, I talked about it earlier. What was the other video? The full-scale offensive video. The full-scale offensive with the paid decks video. I'm going to finish those 2 videos, and I'm probably just going to go grind sortie the rest of the season and then just not farm anything else. Because, again, I am personally most excited for Olga, and I am praying to all that is good Olga is usable. And I accept that I am going to spend some time farming for that character. I need to get off this screen before YouTube kills me. Assassinates me. I accept that I'm going to want to put in the effort to make Olga actually good. So I want to save my sanity until then. The best that we can. But season 3 was worse with the engravings. I don't agree with that, because at least with the engravings, you finished it once and it was fine, right? Like, even if I didn't get the perfect engravings, right? As long as I got good enough engravings that enabled whatever the card was that I needed to enable, I was fine with that. Like, now, yes, if to talk about the extra attack example, right? Like, if you want to go build Selena's best ability and you have to get her extra attack engraving to be as busted as she wants to be, nope, could not be me trying to do that, because you will go insane farming all of that. We might actually fail if we decrease our health anymore. Yeah, I will say I'm very happy I've heard good things about the story, because I'm going to check it out this weekend when I'm traveling and I'll have a little bit of downtime. But I personally have not done it yet because I've been trying to jam through this as much as possible. Haha, 6. I'm not gonna finish that sentence. We got the meme numbers. All right, so again, we need Sever Ties as a starting base. Nope. Hello, Whew. I just, like, wigged out there for a second and lost focus. That was fun. Not control. That's called sleep deprivation. Yippee! We do not want yeah, nope, we'll just take the credits. Yeah, and that's the other part, right? Like, what are we gonna get for the 1-year anniversary then, man? Automatic reroll, that's fine. Honestly, I wasn't sure about how people were going to respond to the desire cards, and I thought, like, maybe I was overreacting a little bit about how much I, like, instantly missed the desire cards. Because, again, people shat on me, like, on Twitter nonstop for being a doomer, but, like, again, I'm not here to shill CZN, guys. Like, I am not, you know, sponsored by Smilegate. My streams are not sponsored, whatever. Like, however I feel about a topic, I'm going to talk about it, right? I don't care. This is not my, you know, I have the freedom that I have, or I should say, I have the luxury of this not being like my source of income, that if I'm going to shit on something, I can just shit on it. Now I'm going to be a bit more professional about it. I'm not just going to sit here and overly doom stuff, but I had some very early criticisms on the Desire system that, in my opinion, still hold true. And I think a lot of people are coming around finally on the Desire cards. I shouldn't say finally. I think people figured it out, you know, within first 2 weeks of it being out. But yeah, just not a lot of people were happy with it. Hey Mars, welcome on in. So I am, you know, so good timing to add this disclaimer as well. I will admit that I am a little bit more biased because I wanted a true damage over time team like Season 1 Tressa when I heard we're getting a dot team season. So unfortunately, Arabella really doesn't, you know, hit the mark for me personally, but I am holding out hope that once we get Olga and we get the rest of the kit making sense, I will have a much stronger opinion of Arabella. I think she's just fine if she wasn't a seasonal character, and I have to keep adding that disclaimer because I do not agree with the fact that she made, or that Smilegate made her a limited character with this kit. But if she was a standard character, I probably would not be complaining as much. So Arabella E2 is going to be a small quality of life upgrade if you are someone who really loves Sortie. But other than that, you should focus on getting her partner as a investment standpoint. And here's the thing that sucks, because I've been so critical, and let's just assume that she has some ungodly broken build with Olga. As soon as I make that comment, people are gonna be like, oh, I thought you hated Arabella. You told me not to pull on Arabella. Man, whatever. Like, again, my official stance as of exactly this moment is I would wait for Olga's kit reveal before deciding if I'm pulling or not. But I personally will not be E2ing my Arabella. And I did E2 both Heidi Mari and Serenial, if that gives you an idea. We'll just get this out of the pool, I guess. So I did not finish the build. Like, if we're talking about Fracture 30 Arabella, I did like a very initial testing of that build for like no divines, just like trying to stack the damage. And it wasn't impressive. And then I have this like, you know, single target, multi-hit morale slop build that is going to do significantly more damage once I finish it. So it's like, okay, I got this character who is doing Fracture, which is a dot, but it's just pretending that is a 6-hit card instead of a 4x hit card. Yippee, right? Like, man, y'all are gonna get me to like legitimately crash out if I keep talking about this. But, I mean, also it feels bad, right? Because, like, we have to accept that, whatever. Wrong one. Another okay, this run's cooked. I'm not going to re-roll 2 cards in one run. We also have to accept that the devs have hinted at that there is going to be a much requested character that will be joining us for the 1-year anniversary. And so it's like, okay, we're pressed between now Arabella or potentially Lush, who is going to be the 1-year anniversary. Like, yes, seasonal FOMO and all that stuff, but it really feels like they're setting us up for like some absolute knockout character for the 1-year anniversary. So like, I am being a little bit more hesitant of being like, oh yeah, this character is great, yada, 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 right? It's gonna feel really bad if it is Lush after all this time and people are like, well, shit, I shouldn't have pulled for this seasonal character. Actually, we have 500 credits. Holy shit. Maybe we can reroll too. I guess this one's more important to reroll, so we'll reroll this one first. Retain does nothing on that, by the way. Oh yeah, I guess oh, that's right. I forgot about the more recent interview. So it might not be Lush, but maybe it's Judas or something then. Who knows? I don't know who the next who's the next popular character other than Lush, I guess. Like, sure, I want Merlin, but that's not gonna happen. It's sure, man. I will fall on my knees to the ground if they give me Lewis. Shit. Oh, I'm not getting Euphemia either. Man, that ship has sailed too. I don't know where she got stuck. What am I forgetting? Oh, no, we already did the removal card. How am I on, like, Chaos number 12, and I've completed one single build for this team, man? This is just, like, insult to injury that I'm getting all this other stuff. Like, bro, I need a basic ass build. Like, help me out here. All right, nope, I'm done. I'm so done. I'm so just nope. Nope. That's it. All right, well, 12 chaos runs today, one build that's not even optimal, but it's usable. The nightmare is ongoing. Oh, man. And, like, what's worse about all this is I'm doing all this work just to get called, like, Cassius shill or, like, morale slop build in the comments. Like, oh, my God, man. Like, I know on some level, like, yeah, dude, this is what I've signed up for. You know, poor is the content creator that actually has to play the game to do builds, right? Like, oh, man, it's just, someone would have to keep me honest because I forgot what count I'm on now. So that was between Chaos 11 and 13 of the day because I was trying to fit in chaos delegations before reset to burn more of the freebies. And then I did some while at work. I did some like right after reset, and then however many we did on stream, man. Like, oh, good God, it's just not our day for builds. That's how it be. That is very much a win some, you lose some moment, unfortunately. Don't know how to build Arabella yet. If you haven't checked it already, I do have a, where is it? Where the hell did OBS? Oh, I just tucked away OBS. There we go. And I guess I should technically update this now. Because this is a template that I obviously, like, reuse for every character, but there. Now technically correct for this. But yes, I do have a video breaking down all of these epiphanies. But here's also just, like, the cheat sheet of, like, cards that I am currently focusing on. I mean, yeah, there is an issue to be addressed here at some point. Like, Full House Cassius is obviously a problem, and the fact that Cassius can get 20 morale by himself is a problem. So, I hate to say it, but we are most likely going to be in a position where Cassius is going to get another nerf after this season. Especially for how hard I've been shilling Cassius personally. Again, not just for morale, right? But like for the survival build as well. I got Torture Toolbox nerfed last season, y'all, so I'm sure that we're going to get Cassius nerfed this season now too, but we will see. When I say copy, do I mean 3x? So, 4x with the caveat that that might change depending on what characters you use in the team. Something to keep in mind is that Arabella is a main damage dealer. So she is one of those, you know, rare exceptions that you do want to copy all 4 times for her main damage dealing character or main damage dealing card in her kit. Look, it is not, I am not out here trying to buff my favorite robot, y'all. Like, I'm not doing it intentionally, but when so much of her kit, again, before we get Olga, so maybe Olga changes, you know, this last one, but once we get to see how the rest of it comes together, maybe we'll find something else where we finally have like a Olga plus whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I had to give the people what they wanted because, again, I think people, how do I phrase this? I think people assume that I use Cassius because he is my favorite, like one of my favorite characters, don't get me wrong, but I think that there's like some bias there that people are assuming when in reality is just like, no, Cassius is that good. I don't know how else to... If you don't recognize that Cassius is in his own tier by this standpoint, I don't know how else to sell you on it. But, like, I'm sorry. The fact that he's a 4-star is just unfair. Like, he should be at the top of every tier list out there. And that is a hill that I will die on. Yeah, hey, as long as you agree that he is good, I have no problems if you don't want to use him. No problems whatsoever. Well, okay, so like here's the thing. I think we need to like do I still have it? Yeah, okay, so I do still have the slide, right? I forget who was asking about it earlier, so I apologize on that one, but again, we do have this information from the... I'm trying to find it, like, scoot it over so I'm not in the way. Okay, my head's in the way somewhat, but where is it? So, yeah, so when damage over time is taken, a proportion of the damage amount is taken as fixed damage. So, like, in her kit, right, based on this fragmentation clause, it does seem like we're going to want to build up Fracture, trigger it with Olga, who is then going to get us double that damage, basically. Now, it does say a proportion, but, you know, effectively, because it scales off the damage, it seems like Olga is going to care about that maximum amount of Fracture. And then, of course, Agony is going to be its own thing. And then Agony, because it triggers at the end of the turn, it does the whole ticks down 20 times. We're basically going to get double Agony is how I'm thinking that this ability right here is worded. But again, like, Agony itself does not scale whatsoever compared to current content stuff. So I don't know how we're making up the rest of that damage yet, but we'll have to wait and see what she can do, I guess. But again, unfortunately, she has that clause that can activate the Agony and Fracture that she herself applies to the enemy. And guess what? We have seen that already. We have now seen that already in Arabella's kit, where she is also greedy for the Fracture amp. However, she does have the one unique card that you could run that activates the Fracture of all allies. So you could activate the Fracture of Hilde, Arabella, and Olga all at once. We will see where that lands. Yeah, I do appreciate that we got a dot that finally scales again. It's just, I don't know. I guess I was hoping for Agony 2.0, and it's just not what Fracture is, right? And maybe that's fine. Maybe, again, we get Olga. It's obviously not, like, it has a cap, y'all, right? So, like, no matter what, we're not going to get, like, Heidi Mari insane OTK numbers with it. But, like, if I can get something that makes me feel like I can trigger a high-value Fracture multiple times in a turn, even if it only ends up doing, like, 100k damage per turn, you know what? Good enough. Like, obviously, for a seasonal focused team, people should complain about it, but, like, as someone who is at the end of his line, just coping all out for Olga, I'm going to say good enough, man. If I can get 100k to 120k damage per turn with a Olga dot focus build, that's what I'm going to say. You know, sure. But again, I think we're in this very awkward situation where this season was supposed to be nerfed, but the devs went back on the rebalancing. So we're probably going to just see the steady power creep going into season 5, going from season 4 to season 5 is what I was trying to say. But we're probably not going to see the consequences of not nerfing the game until like set 6 or season 6, excuse me, because we know that's how far out the devs are currently planning for season 6, season 7, what have you. So I accept that this season is just kind of a whatever, and hopefully in the future, Fracture will come back and have its own buffs, have its own like, hey guys, we fixed it, we saved Fracture, everything's fine again. But I do appreciate that Arabella can activate her own Fracture. So yes, at least Arabella by herself does feel like a complete kit. However, I do feel that what I was hoping to get out of the season is just not there yet. I don't think season 4 is near close to season 3. Again, shout out to Judge. He's actually done a lot of the damage calculations already. We have, like, he's done all the math, all the numbers, and he did that video a while ago now, but like, for the vast majority of teams that include Rangers, so again, we're assuming Hilde here, you will get more damage out of running the Morale Slop plus Driven Hunt survival card. It's just where things are at for this season, unfortunately. Now, again, there are some exceptions to that rule, like the infinite stacking extra attack engraving. But again, the only person who can really utilize that is Selena, who has all of her extra attack shenanigans that scale insanely high. So it is one of those things that I feel that when we get to season 5, we're going to actually see a lot more of that, like, hey, this, again, power inflation is what they call it instead of power creep. But I am expecting a very high power inflation for the 1-year anniversary, because, shocker, again, that's going to give us a lot of reasons to pull for the latest and greatest characters, right? The other thing I want to go back to is because somebody asked about this earlier, and I want to double check because I forgot. So we have Adelheid. We do have a Narja. We have Adelheid. There's a Typhera, Narja. What are people using with Narja? Is it really just Bottomless Hunger Slop? Okay, it is. Okay, they actually have the God Divine. That's actually really cool. Kudos to them for farming that out, man. That is a super sick Narja save, dude. Holy shit. Typhara is likely best in slot, but need to min-max my aura. Just because of the built-in heal and shields, or what makes... Cappy, go to sleep. No, why are you here? Don't even answer that question. Go to bed. Are you up for work or something, brother? What time is it? Hey. 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 What are you doing? Why are you up? Are you not taking care of yourself? Did you stop by my stream just to tell me that you're not taking care of yourself? Did you drink your water today? Did you take your medication? Are you okay? Okay, anyways, that's enough of that. I just got done streaming. Okay, well, that's fair, I guess. That's also very valid. So I guess no, tell me more then. I'm still like so focused on trying to finish this stupid build that I'm 12 chaos runs deep and can't finish. But what am I forgetting about Typhara then? Oh, just for flower. Yeah. We were talking about that earlier. Of just making the substitution for it. So, and again, for whoever was saying it earlier, right? As we were talking about beyond that, again, if you're not having Cassius because you're not having the flower or other reasons, yes, getting the extra morale from this is going to be relevant. And Typhara can also make use of the resolve because her archetype cards are going to spam out a bunch of shielding. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even realize that was yours. I was just looking at. I was just like pulling up the first one that I saw. One. Oh, sure. Yep, that's fair. But it's currently afternoon. Yeah, time zones may vary and all that, right? Oh, what the fuck is that? Dude, what are you? Hello, Mr. Mothman. What the fuck? Where the... Okay, that was a large ass bug. Oh man, we had the back window open. He must have got in. Where the okay, he's gonna bonk me in the head. Eventually. Hilde. Oh, there you are. What are you? Oh yeah, it's he's about to get sucked into my PC, I guess. He has the big light that he's attracted to, I guess. Hilde ET. Okay, I do not remember what her E2 is off the top of my head. Oh, yeah. We talked. Yeah. Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah, we talked about, like, leading up to the Great Rift, like, there was just way too much on defeat bullshit to not have some, like, super shield gimmick of... Because, again, no other content in the game does this have, like... Or I guess there was the other Great Rift with the slime idiots, right? I do know that one. But generally speaking, you don't have content in the game that's like, here's unlimited waves to have all these defeat stuff become relevant, right? Generally, it's only for Swordy to get a little extra value in those turns. I'm so sorry. This is just very distracting. He's just very large. But yeah. This time the Rift was designed around the units, not the units for the Rift. Yeah. I don't know. I think there's so obviously I haven't like I did literally one run just because I want to see this screen and how they changed it. Which is like fine. I think this is like a good enough spot. But anyways, I want to see how they updated all this with like the 8 runs instead of 10, all that stuff for the, and like grab a screenshot for a video, but I haven't gone like super in depth about this, but, yeah, so if we're just talking Great Rift, yeah, probably going to, probably just gonna have Typhera lead our 3rd slot then. Actually, it's gotta be, yeah, it is through a card, so Adelheid doesn't work either then. Like, Adelheid would be great for sustain, but she's not gonna trigger Flower then. Yeah, and it's just like the very standard support build. Yeah, I think, again, I don't know. It sucks. I don't have to sugarcoat it. I don't like how the Great Rift had changed this season in particular, right? A lot of the other Great Rifts, it at least felt like there was some variety for like being able to still get easy clears. And I know that we have full scale offensive, so it is what it is. That will still be relevant, but it's not, it's hard to do like relevant guides where it's just like, hey man, here's a Great Rift, but then, yeah, exactly what I was just gonna say. Here's your triple slop seasonal team that wants to get boosted. And I get that other gachas like do that, but one thing that was always really nice about CZN is that we had a little bit more build flexibility for like full scale offensive, the tower, what have you. But Great Rift, and again, look, the game's got to make money to stay in service. I get it. Not that one, that one. The game's got to stay in or make money to get in service, right? So like you want to have your whales who are all battling for these top slots so they can get their you know, their little this guy doesn't even have the badges. There you go. Like the badges that have like the ranking and stuff, right? Like I get it. But it's just like it's one less thing that I'm going to care to engage with or make content on because it's not going to be engaging, right? Like it's going to come down to like, oh, here's my, you know, free-to-play team that can get 300k points and then dip, right? Like that is probably the content that you would make going forward, and great. Sure, like I guess, but otherwise the leaderboards now are just going to be a copy paste, and then whoever has the more dupes, right, for the various effects. I've been feeling like they're not working towards a vision for the game, but working backwards for what they think will sell it. I don't agree with that 100% because they're also putting a lot of focus on sortie, which doesn't really make them money, right? Sortie makes them exactly $0. Multiplayer in spirit makes them exactly $0. Like there's still some stuff that is happening that's like, hey, we recognize that these are modes and content that people care about. But I will agree, like the Great Rift change is 100% just for money, and there's no two ways about that. But, and sorry, again, 3 hours of sleep, brain. I forgot about if I said it or not. But just to go back to it, yes, I do want to check out Sea of Swords when it launches. I am interested in Brave Frontier, but we know that's going to be a next year thing. And there's one other game that came across my radar that I've already forgotten about. But long story short, right? Oh, and then Maresi, of course. But Silver Palace, there we go. Silver Palace, I think I'm going to be interested in just for the story. So I will eventually would like to branch out and cover other games. But right now, the content creator program for CZN is absolutely goated compared to what else is out there. And also, there's just not anything else that I really love right now from a I am currently playing it, so I want to make content on it perspective. Again, with trying to balance work and spending time with Bree, and now playing Riftbound, wherever my trying to play Riftbound again so I can actually like leave this office and not be in this one, you know, room for 15 hours a day. I'm not motivated to make content for a game just to get out another YouTube video. I simply will not do that. So as always, if there's a game that you are excited about or wanting to check out, you think that I might be interested in, or you just want me to know about, feel free to bring it up in chat. I will never like tell other people not to talk about other games in the chat. Like, I want people to, you know, share the things that they enjoy, because that's why I make content. I still very much enjoy playing CZN. Yes, I'm going to complain about days like today where I do 12, 11, whatever it was, chaos runs, and I get one half decent save at the end of the day. But that's what it is, right? That's what we're signed up for. At least I can play the game, unlike Enfield, where you play it for a day and then you say, okay, I'm out of story. My factory's set up, and now I just don't do anything for 3, 4, 5 weeks or however long it is between their cycles again. Like, at least I can do something that is not just dailies. So anyways, side rants and all that. We will see where things land. That said, I am going to call things here. And actually, I'm not sure if Sue ended up streaming or not, since Cappy's not online. No, that is going to be everything. So I did put up a, okay, I guess last shout out really quickly here. Combatants. If anyone has been wondering about the download mechanic or data download, I'm gonna get it right one of these times. If anyone has been wondering about these various saves and if they are worth the crystals or not, very long story short, I did a video breaking this down and when and where it may or may not be worth your crystals. I think only 2 builds in particular are actually worth it, but hey, this is the one YouTubey thing I will say. Please go check out the video, make sure to subscribe and all that good stuff, because it does help out the channel and I do appreciate the support. We are coming up on 1 year of gacha content after 12 years of TCGs only. So again, just another time, thank you for this insane journey that has been CZN. You know, getting to go to Anime Expo, hopefully next year I'll be able to budget and plan and, you know, get to go to stuff like Gamescom and get to do live coverage of the gacha news that's going to be there as well. Again, I'm still going to have my day job. I work in tech. It's a super comfy job to have, but I do generally just love making content and being able to share builds like we've been trying to work on today, just to help you guys out there think about other ways to use characters you might not have thought of, or just find a way to enjoy the games a little bit easier and not do all the min-maxing nonsense work and leave it to people like myself. So again, thank you for the support. Again, we're coming up on 1 year in September technically. So we are currently at about 8,600 subs. I would have loved to got to 10K, but hey, we're just shy of it and we've been having a hell of a year. So as always, I'll say, hey, we'll drink to that. And by drink to that, I mean, did you drink your water today? Have you been hydrating? Did you eat something? Hopefully you've been taking care of yourself. But on that note, my friends, I need to go take care of myself and get more than 3 damn hours of sleep tonight. So go check out the latest videos on YouTube. And otherwise, we'll hopefully be back here sometime soon with another CZN stream. But until next time, my friends, stay safe, stay hydrated, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.